shall we make a start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I've just muted everyone. I've just added the feature that you have to mute upon request, just so that we don't have any disturbance to the meeting. Webinar. This webinar will be recorded, and I will just introduce myself. I'm Heta, and Dr. Kanchan is an Ayurvedic practitioner. She runs under Ayurveda Heaven. She's an Ayurveda practitioner and also works in a cancer hospital. She is a good friend and I'm working with her. We're going to have many projects and collaborations. So the first webinar we're doing together is the weight loss with Ayurved and Yoga. And I myself am a yoga teacher. I teach yoga on the side, and I'm sure some of you have been to my classes and some of you are present students. So I'll hand it over to Dr. Kanchan and she'll start off with the presentation. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thank you, Heta, and thank you everyone for joining in today. So as Heta briefly mentioned, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner practicing Ayurveda for 21 years now and working in clinical trials of a cancer hospital, NHS Trust. And I'm at the moment serving as executive committee member for Ayurvedic Practitioners Association in the UK. So doing a couple of things with Heta, because yoga and Ayurveda does go hand in hand. It's a sister science, and we thought about becoming like a kind of collaboration and helping people to reach out even more who are interested in Ayurveda as well as yoga. So this is our first collaboration, and the topic we chose is weight loss with the help of Ayurveda and yoga, because the few topmost queries I always get asked is, how do I lose weight? How do I lose belly fat? How do I lose arm fat? Or please tell me how to reduce double chin or triple chin. So we thought make it this as a very informative session, those who want to know about what Ayurveda and yoga says about weight loss. So I'm going to share my screen now, and then towards the end of this webinar, we will open up any question answers for you. So just excuse me for 1 second. Okay. So as I mentioned, a few of the topmost requests I get frequently asked are, how do I lose weight? And please tell me how to reduce double chin, triple chin. So we will group. It's no breaking news that while millions in the world are facing malnourishment, millions are also facing rampant obesity. As obvious as the obesity issue is, the causes for them are also equally apparent to almost everyone. With a show of hands, who here isn't aware that overeating and stress are leading causes of obesity and heart disease, blood pressure, and diabetes? Anyway, before we dig into what should be done for weight loss, let's set up ourselves properly. That is our direction. We have to learn a few things from yoga and Ayurveda's perspective before we jump into the solution. So what I did, I have grouped them into 3 sections. So the root causes for weight gain, body and mind types as per Ayurveda and yoga, and solutions and tips for weight loss. Of course, this information applies to not just those who are obese, but also those who have trouble shedding off the excess weight in their body. So first of all, why do we gain weight? So the topmost causes for weight gain can be again put into the 3 categories: physical and psychological, and the third one is being stress, which we're going to discuss a little bit more into the detail. So the first one is physical cause. This we are looking into, why do we gain weight? So when we talk about the physical cause, first and foremost important is poor digestion, poor eating habits, and poor nutritional habits. The imbalance between what's eaten and what's burnt, that is overeating, and lack of moving, that is the biggest cause. Sometimes it can be due to an automobile accident. Sometimes it could be physical injuries that we don't really move around, or mobility has been affected. So that we can put into the physical category of weight gain. The second is psychological. Psychological factor such as weight gain as a sign of protection from stressful environment, such as strained or abusive relationships, depression, anxiety, traumas, PTSD, etc. In these cases, stress eating and hormonal imbalance are major cause of weight gain. And the third group I have then put into for a reason of weight gain is major life changes or stressors. So which includes work transition, loss of work, unemployment, financial stress, relocation, pregnancy, postpartum, menopause, chronic illness, post-surgery even, trauma, or any emotional stress. So usually this third group is a combination of physical and psychological stressors. Many times all three causes trigger each other to create a tornado of a stressful environment. Before we begin on what to do to achieve weight loss, there are a few general things we should keep in mind about the whole weight loss process. So the first thing is, the quicker you expect results, the quicker you fall into the fat, in the trap of fat diets. To reverse anything, you have got to usually go back through the same route to arrive at a point from where we deviated. In this case, the deviation from the health. The quicker you expect results, the quicker you fall into the traps of fat diets, starving yourselves, developing an unhealthy relationship with food through anorexia, bulimia, lack of body acceptance, overexercise. Sometimes this overexercise can lead to injury, disappointment, and further stress even. It also leads to the unhealthy habit of excluding certain food groups, such as fats or carbs, and categorizing them as bad. Especially when we talk about ghee, people do definitely consider this as a bad fat and exclude them from our health, diet, which is a very healthy component of our diet. This only causes a further imbalance in the body and mind. So developing patience through the process would be the first and foremost important step. Spot reduction, this is where I definitely want to focus upon. So what is spot reduction is, it's not really possible. So we can build muscles on specific areas of the body, but we cannot control where we predominantly lose the belly fat or chin fat or specific area. Reducing fat depends on our overall fat percentage of the body and our body's affinity for storing fats. Some people store it in the belly, some do in the hips, some in the thighs, some in the chin. So stop pinching, pointing, and expecting it to go away. And the last one is in the section is trauma and stress. Very, very important factors actually related to weight gain. They can change a body a lot. This includes the physical and mental stress. Sometimes women go through during difficult labor and also during menopause. It also includes relationship or marital or familiar stress, physical, mental abuse in relationships, financial or work stress. So what we need to think about here is that there is no one size fits all approach when it comes to diet, or to be honest, anything in the life. Even if you take up a matter such as spirituality, there isn't one size fits all. Each one of us picks a path that's conducive for our current position in life, aiding towards our personal growth. Considering we have different causes for weight gain, shouldn't we follow different regimes as well? We will explore more on this in the next section. And this is precisely why I mentioned in the beginning that weight loss in the eyes of Ayurveda and Yoga happens as a consequence of lifestyle changes and not as a final goal. Ayurveda and Yoga have thousands of years ago acknowledged this uniqueness of body, mind, and life situations. So let's understand why one size fits all never works. For this, we have to hover over a few basic principles of Ayurveda and Yoga. The first thing to acknowledge is that you have a particular body type. We are all different because each of us is made up of or have different ratios of the 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, and earth. The elements are all connected and they intertwine with each other to create energies, which we call dosha. The doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. These are responsible for why we are all shaped and put together a little differently. Once you know your particular body mind type, that dictates that types of food and herbs you need to take to maintain your weight and health. So understanding body types as per Ayurveda is really, really important. Ayurveda loosely categorizes human body types into 3 groups. The types and their traits are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. I'm not going to go too much into detail about these 3, but I'm briefly going to mention the characteristics of each dosha. So when we talk about the Vata personalities, these are the personalities or hyperactive body and mind. Those tend to overthink. Usually they are very lean, hard to put on weight, but very easy to lose weight. They have narrow shoulders and hips, crackling joints. They have visible joints, very short or very tall, dry and brittle skin. They are prone to constipation. They have less than 1 bowel movement a day. Sometimes it can be hard, dark stool. They get easily hungry and easily full. So they have variable energy throughout the day. They tend to talk fast and they are very quick to learn, but quick to forget. So they have short-term memory. This category of people are emotionally very sensitive. They get easily hurt and they easily forgive. And this all goes on. So this is a typical Vata, the ether and air combination personalities are. The second category is the Pitta, the fire. These characteristics of people, they are medium built. They have soft and shiny hair, skin, and nails. Hair could be a bit oily, and they have very sensitive skin. They are prone to acid reflux and digestion-related issues. They have usually 1 to 2 good bowel movements a day. They have soft stool. They are intellectually very sound, and they are prone to anger, prone to judgmental thoughts. They're good learners, good leaders, but they have strong ego and they get easily offended. They forgive, but does not forget, and this all goes on. So this is the second type of personalities we're looking at, which is Pitta. The third is the Kapha, which the elements are water and earth. So Kapha personalities are there towards medium to heavy build. They have broad shoulders and hips, tends to be overweight, easily put on weight, hard to lose weight. And these type of people usually struggle to lose weight. They have soft features and facial muscles, prone to cold and cough, prone to respiratory allergies, and they are very slow learners, but rarely forgetful. So they have long-term memory. They're emotionally very strong people, mentally very calm and soft-spoken. And they rarely forgive and rarely forgets. So they usually harbors resentment, and this all goes on. I know you must have already tagged yourself and your family friends into Vata, Pitta, Kapha categories, but hold on for a while. It's not that black and white always. These are textbook features, that is base traits. People are usually a mix of these traits. Well, aren't we all? So usually there is a primary dominant dosha and there is a secondary dominant dosha. For example, I could be Vata Pitta. Also, it doesn't mean that the tertiary dosha is not present. We are all a mix of 3 doshas at all the time, and it keeps changing as per life situations. You know how millions of color combinations could be made with just 3 basic colors, RGB, red, green, and blue, mixed in various ratios. Yes, this is very much the same. There is also one more catch. The combination with which we are born is not permanent. It keeps changing as we grow, from infants to kids to adults to seniors. It also changes as per seasons, the food that we consume and the geographical area that we live in. In women, it changes during their monthly cycles too. So when it changes too much, it's an imbalance, and that is corrected through various Ayurvedic methods and therapies. It is not a big shocker that we are all so unique and how our traits shift at times, physically and mentally. Now let's move on to the mind. So understanding mind types as per Ayurveda, it's just as important as understanding the body types. Just like how we have body types, we have mind types as well. This is recognized both in Ayurveda and Yoga, because they both goes hand in hand and they are sister sciences. So as per Ayurveda and Yoga, the mind types are, we call it three gunas: Sattva, Raja, and Tama. So let's talk about the first one, which is the Sattva Guna, which is we call mode of purity. So these personalities are very stable, they get unaffected and present yet detached. They are pure, soft, and balanced and compassionate. They're very knowledgeable, they're unselfish, and that's what it's called, why it's called mode of purity. The second one is the Rajas, the Rajoguna. The Rajoguna or Rajas Prakriti or constitution is called as mode of passion. So it's all about wanting, progressing. So this type of personalities, usually they're aggressive, indecisive, impulsive, highly ambitious, arrogant or stubborn, prone to anger, energetic, tend to be a workaholic, restless and agitated, and could suffer from insomnia due to restlessness. So it is a strange mix of fear and desire. Can fall into this, they can fall into depression and anxiety. So that's why it's called mode of passion. And the third guna we're discussing is the tamo guna, tamas, which this is grounded, decisive, dull, lethargic, negative, they're very judgmental, very critical, lazy, greedy for material things. So tamaguna is always called as the mode of ignorance. And just as in three doshas, trigunas also keep changing as per our life situations and our responses to those situations. Trigunas are also affected by the food we eat, the seasons, and the life situations. This was just an overview to let you know that we are not equal, not in the body, not in the mind. We will never be, and there is no good versus bad, as all these categories have pros and cons of their own. And we are always a mix of all three. With Rajas comes creativity, with Tamas comes the grounding, and with the Sattva comes pure clarity from within. Without any one of these traits, how are we going to stay in balance? So why was this information needed to talk about weight loss? So to arrive at the conclusion, so each person and each case has to be handled uniquely. Sometimes based on just this information, a person himself or herself is capable of handling the problems intuitively. And some other times help and guidance is needed. So now coming to the exciting part, how to achieve weight loss through Ayurveda and Yoga. Again, I have put these into the three categories. And in my opinion, and as references taken from Yoga and Ayurvedas, there are three basic pillars of life. So just imagine yourself as a three-legged table. When are you the most comfortable or stable? When all three legs of you are stable, right? So similarly, you can achieve weight loss by bringing balance in the following three pillars of your life. So first is food, sleep, and the last one is everything in moderation. And I'm going to elaborate on each one into quick, in the next few slides. So when we talk about food, I'm not going to talk about the food groups here and the calories you need to consume, but in general, what should you correct? Why this is so unique to Yoga and Ayurveda. And that's what I'm going to be more focusing on. So meal timings. Yes, we all know that everything needs to be in the routine, but what is the correct meal time as per Ayurveda and Yoga? So simple: breakfast before 8 a.m., lunch before 2 p.m., and dinner before 7:30 p.m. So even if you manage to do these three things regularly, you will see the difference into your health. Second is the type of food that agrees with you. So if you are prone to flatulence from the consumption of lentils, either soak and cook them well with appropriate spices, or reduce the quantity or find alternatives. So simply by understanding your body, what goes well with your body and what doesn't, and avoiding those is definitely a key point here. Then comes the well-cooked and balanced food. So no raw foods or salads. I know this is very, very debatable, and every talk I do and I get a lot of questions asked about it. But yes, our digestive system is not designed to digest the raw food. So, and this is what definitely Ayurveda suggests. So soak the food such as lentils and seeds before cooking them. Even fruits like apples are cooked and steamed and altered in a way so that it becomes easy to digest. Then comes no processed or packaged food. The further the food has been processed from the stage of harvest, the farther the potential creation of imbalance in the body. Food rich in the prana. So when we say food rich in prana is as fresh as possible. So no ready to eat meal, no leftovers from the previous day, no takeaways. Try to reduce this and you will see the difference into your energies. Then comes the important part is 3 meals. As per Ayurveda, the snacking is not necessarily needed. At every meal time, absolutely, you need to leave 4 to 6 hours gap between each meal time. So 3 meals definitely more than sufficient on a day-to-day basis. If you get too hungry, have a very small snack at 4 p.m., but otherwise focus on getting the most nutrients through fulfilling and satisfying 3 meals a day. If you're really focusing on weight loss, this definitely will help you. Make lunch as your biggest meal of the day, owing to the fact that 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the pitta, the fire time of the day, which is very conducive to digest large meals. Having said that, large does not equal to overeat. Eat only until you are about 80% full. And most importantly, the way you eat food, not in front of the TV, not while talking, not while working, and also not gulping it down in a hurry. So these simple tricks does help in controlling and maintaining your weight without much of a hassle, to be honest. So the second, let me put this way, the more problem or illness you have in your body, the stricter you have to be about the above pointers. Food recommendations as per individual doshas and their combinations are out of the scope of this art of this talk, but I will try to cover that maybe in a couple of other seminars. And if you want to have discussion, you can always drop me email or text me. But the whole idea was to just let you know that all foods are created equal, just like how we are not created equally. They are not created equally. So certain body types go well with certain food types. And if you really like to know your dominant dosha, as I mentioned above, please do not rely on the random dosha test online. So go to an experienced Ayurvedic doctor and get the test done, and also ask for food recommendations while you are with that Ayurvedic practitioner. That would give you a correct idea and guidance about your own body types. That was all about food. So now the second one is sleep. Sleep, we all know early to bed, early to rise, and all those sorts of things, but do we really follow that? So my suggestions to everybody is, even if out of 7 days, if you manage to keep the routine for 5 days, it is really, really, you will see the benefits of it. So if we talk about sleep, the elusive activity that has us in a tight hold since the time we were born, we may not be aware of what happens within us when we are deep in sleep, but some of the major bodily functions occur during sleep and is much needed for us to function well in the day. So what should you correct in sleep? So sleep early, wake up early. No gadgets 2 hours before sleep. So no TV or laptop in the bedroom, no checking phones before sleeping, and worse, soon after waking up. That's something many people do. When I do my consultation and ask them their routine, usually they say that first thing in the morning, they like to check their work emails and messages and stuff, so which is a big no. Do journaling or listen to peaceful instrumental music before going to bed. Sleep and wake up with positive thoughts or gratitude. Do not consume negative contents such as horror, crime, thriller shows before sleep. This also includes live discussions with spouse and family. So all the family discussions, important decisions, very honest, those should be reserved for mornings only. Again, these tips may sound very stringent, but I'd like to repeat that the farther you are from health, especially mental health in this case, the stricter you have to be out about following these suggestions. So dear parents, begin adapting these tips in your life and see how your kids follow your path effortlessly. You don't have to then grill them to follow the early bedtime policy or anything for that matter. In fact, they will remind you if you falter on a day or two. And the last one on this list is the moderation, the last pillar. For your information, these three pillars are called the Trayostambha in Ayurveda. So what should you correct and what do I mean by in moderation? So balanced thoughts, balanced mind. The external stimuli keep coming at you every day. It is your job to sort them out with utmost clarity without impulsiveness or giving control over to your regular first responders within your body and mind. Thoughts brings emotions and emotions make you act. Very important to correct the roots again. Consuming non-extremist content and in moderation truly helps here. The second one is balanced activities. So no binging and anything. Sure, you may be an adrenaline junkie and seek after adventurous activities such as late night horror movies, passionate relationships and jobs, but also those take you down more in the long run that lift you up. Next come is the balanced food. Do not eliminate food groups because someone categorized them into good and bad. For example, if you categorize fat as bad, you are a potential customer for a low-fat product, which is nothing but a stripped off product. And here I really want to emphasize the fact which Ayurveda always believed for to have a healthy and balanced mind-body state is at every meal time, one should always consume all six tastes. So do not eliminate any particular food type. So some people just do protein diet. Some, completely get rid of the carbs, which is the utmost important energy source. Some people completely get rid of the fat, such as ghee, which is really, really important for a balance, functioning of the body and new tissue formation. So do not go behind those fat diets. It has to be balanced food so that we get a balanced nutrients from each food type. Balanced consumption of intoxicants, especially if you do not want to quit at all. Did you know it is easier to quit than find a balance there? It is similar to a bottle full of candy or sugar. Better to not buy it than look at it at each hour and wonder how much you are allowed to consume. So this is the trick basically. And so the third pillar is definitely this is all about everything what you do in your life is all about understanding the term moderation. Nothing less and nothing too much. And then you would see that you are composed, you are balanced, and your health, mind, body state is always in a balanced state. Now we're gonna continue with the important Ayurvedic for weight loss. These are very, very, you might have heard these tips several times through WhatsApp forwards, through many webinars, especially during lockdown. People are attending too many health-related webinars. You might be watching YouTube videos, you're reading some good books, but are you definitely following this each and every day of your life? That is the question one must ask. As per Ayurveda, there is a certain daily routine you must follow. And if you follow it, the body weight will definitely stay, it will be maintained, and you don't need to do any additional efforts to reduce the weight. So some key factors to mention here are, yes, definitely one must have regular bowel movements is every single day. And I emphasize it on every single day because especially through NHS, when people go complaining about the constipation, they usually say, oh, it is okay not to have the bowel movement 4 to 5 days. No, we are not dustbin. The bowel movement needs to happen every day. And if it is not happening, You need to look into your diet, definitely increase the fiber content, drink more water, and still it's not helping, then take something such as Triphala or her day for temporary, measures, and definitely the body will benefit from that. So something like you can consume cooked veggies with grains, cooked fruits, and warm water. That definitely helps. Sometimes eliminating or reducing meat consumption increases, or the regular bowel movement starts happening. Hydration, yes. You may not need 8 big glasses of water every day, but depending on again your body type, such as kapha body type does not need that much water because their body predominantly is water content, so they can go for up to 6 to 8 glasses of warm water. Pitta, the fire element, definitely need 8 glasses, and vata, the air factor, the air elements, need again 6 to 8 glasses. Prefer to sip warm or hot water, if not room temperature water, but no ice cold water or sodas or cold beverages. Cold water dampens the agni, the digestive fire. So even if you are pitta type who does not do well with hot water, it is recommended to heat the water, cool it down to room temperature, and then consume it. Also, do not consume any water 30 minutes before and after meals. This is very important tip. The next one is Abhyanga or self-massage. This is highly recommended for Vata Pitta body types, but it is equally important for Kapha body type as well, because what it does is it increases the lymphatic and blood circulation in the body. You can try adding dry brushing, and you will see that it lubricates the joints and it hydrates the skin, which we call gharshana. That's the actually Ayurvedic word. Gharshana means friction. And this is recommended for if you're looking into weight loss, this dry brushing is definitely recommended. It increases the lymphatic circulation. Lymph, unlike blood, does not have a pumping system like heart and relies on gravity and the body movements to circulate. So it sounds very harsh on the skin, but it is really not. It feels very refreshing. So there are lots of videos on YouTube related to dry brushing. You need to definitely try this one. And you can alternate between the normal dry brushing and body massage every other day. And the last one on this list is big no to all packaged food, all white food. Once you start just following these tips, weigh in yourself first, then change or alter your diet and food and lifestyle according to these tips. And after 4 to 6 weeks, again, weigh in yourself, and you will see the difference that without much of a stress, much of a hassle, you actually manage to reduce weight. Then add some specific exercises to it, add some herbs to it as per the Ayurvedic practitioner's advice. The benefit can be by-fold, and you can then reduce the targeted weight loss you can achieve. So that's from my side as an Ayurvedic practitioner. I wanted to give you all an overlook of what Ayurveda thinks about weight loss. Now I'm going to hand over to Heta, who is very expert yoga teacher. She's running a lot of one-to-one classes and group classes at the moment, and she's going to take us through as what yoga suggests about the weight loss. Over to you, Heta. Thank you.
Apologies, I had to unmute myself. Hello, everyone. Those of you who've just joined, I'm Heta. I teach yoga on the side. I've been trained in pregnancy yoga, a standard yoga teacher training course online in India and in UK. And I've taught at various classes. I have my own personal classes under the name of SUKH ANAND, as you may know. So if you would like more information on yoga classes as well, I have many different types. Other than that, I'll be discussing the relationship between yoga and weight loss in this part of the webinar. So yoga means union. So literally, when you think of yoga, it means union. So one definition of yoga is from Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, which is Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And this means to still the fluctuations of the mind, to calm or still the mind. There are many other different interpretations. So the yogic scriptures state that the practice of yoga leads to the union of the individual consciousness with that of the universal, the individual consciousness with that of the universal consciousness, indicating a harmony between the mind and the body. So when people think of yoga, they normally think of a physical exercise, headstand, your shavasana, your crow, any physical exercise. However, the physical side is just a part of yoga. The health benefits are the positive side effects of yoga. The whole idea is to focus on the mind and the body connection, or have a simple balanced harmony between the two. So I'll give some background on the relationship between stress and weight gain. So when there's chronic high stress, this can prevent you from losing weight. Even if you think you're eating healthy, you're exercising well, you're doing all the right things, ticking it off. If you have stress, that can have a big, huge factor, because this creates food cravings. Sometimes you must have just felt like eating sweet, salty, high fat foods. This is because when you have excess cortisol, this is damaging stress hormone. These lead to the food cravings. And when you have those kinds of foods, then you're stimulating the brain to release the pleasure chemicals, which reduces the tension. And so when the cortisol increases, this increases the blood sugar and the blood pressure, which encourages the body to store fat, which leads to weight gain. So this vicious cycle keeps happening. And so the longer the stress continues, the more that the body produces cortisol. And when this happens, you're just creating yourself a barrier it's harder to get out. So you want more of these kinds of foods. So what can we do? Yoga comes into play with weight loss. So different studies have shown that yoga can help with response to stress. So you might hear your doctor, your GP, anyone just say, do some yoga, chill out. But why? What does it do? So yoga can help with response to stress and also indirectly helping with those food cravings. So the binge eating reduces and you gain more mindfulness and body awareness, which in turn helps with your relationship with your food and your health, and you're becoming mindful of these little things. That's what yoga can do. And long-term yoga practice, it's been proven to show, can affect the metabolism in a positive way. So your metabolism gets better, you feel better, you feel good, you have a good relationship with your mind, your body, your food, relationship, everything. You have more body awareness. Simple things such as doing yoga asana, which is a part of what yoga is, which your asana is the physical postures. This can help. So the movement is essential with losing weight. So incorporating flows such as doing vinyasa yoga or strengthening asanas such as Ashtanga yoga, which is the modern yoga. Poses such as doing Trikonasana, Sarvangasana, Paschimottanasana, and so on. So Trikonasana is triangle pose, Bhujangasana is crow. I've just put the Sanskrit names here. These can help, or just doing a simple practice of Surya Namaskar can help every day. Just some movement or some calming yoga asana practice, such as stretching or doing restorative yoga or yoga nidra, which is really, really good for relaxing and calming the mind. But it's also beneficial in losing weight, which has been proven to help women from a study to help lose the weight. So I have a quote here, Chalivate chalam chittam nishchale nishchalam bhavita, from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, one of the yogic texts. As the breath moves, so does the mind. So when one is steady, the other two become steady. So by having a calm mind, this is essential in helping to lose weight. So as I just said, it's from this quote states that the breath is essential to helping controlling and directing our mind. How can we do this? Through pranayama. So prana means life force and yam means control. So people normally think it's just breathing, but prana is a life force and the breath helps to spread the prana throughout the body as well as calming the mind. You may be aware of the techniques such as Anulom, Vilom Pranam, Nadi Shodhan Pranam, and Yogendra Pranam number 4, which is abdominal breathing, to name a few. And people also think of Kapalbhati, but Kapalbhati is a Kriya, which is under the Pranam category, but Kriya means a cleansing technique. So this is where you do the skull shining technique, where you breathe really fast. So this should be practiced under the supervision of a yoga teacher if you are new to it, depending on if you have hypertension or high blood pressure, etc. But doing these practices every day can really help, and then following with meditation after. So I've just touched on the yoga and the practices with talking about pranayama and simple yoga asana, but then having this daily routine and then doing some meditation can really help. And with the relationship with yoga and weight loss, it can really help. Then you can benefit from it. So now I'll leave you with this quote that you can think of. If you feel like you want to start, but you haven't started with the relationship with your weight, and if you want to change it. We will also be doing, me and Dr. Sharma, we're going to be doing a Ayurveda and Yoga weight loss program. So we'll be doing a 4 or 8 week program, and I'll be running some private classes, and Dr. Sharma will be giving a detailed analysis of your dosha, your prakriti, a lifestyle and daily meal plan with Ayurvedic herbs. And this will really be a long-term life. Well, I'll say it's life-changing. You'll help you physically, mentally, and spiritually, and you'll have a really, really good transformation of yourself, and it will really change you. So if you're interested, please share, and do contact us if you are interested, which we will be starting very soon. I have a few questions here which I have been asked. So do I have to be flexible to do yoga? No. As I said, the definition of yoga has got nothing to do with the physical side. It's for everyone. You can do whatever asana you want. You can practice, do a simple stretch, do a power yoga if you want. You can do anything you want, but it's for everyone. And even if you do want to change, your body will naturally adapt over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Like yoga, Ayurveda, it's not a quick fix. These things don't, it takes time, but you'll notice how your body will change and your relationship with your body and mind will change. How can I lose weight quickly? Again, there is no quick fix. It will take time, but your discipline and dedication will increase. So as I say, be true to your sadhana, your practice, the goal you want to reach, and the results will follow. I keep losing hope. So in relation to losing weight, how can I control this? Trust the process. I always say this. How you feed yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally can make a huge difference. Be kind to yourself and you will notice changes in the results slowly. This will happen. Have belief and faith to yourself. I'm sure some of you always say this to others, so please believe in yourself with anything you do. So I'll leave you with the contact details.